We are an open and affirming community, so whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path of discovery, know that you are absolutely welcome here. If you're joining us online, thank you for being a part of our global virtual community, and we welcome you here this morning, knowing that your presence online also adds to the energetic of who we are. So let us know where you're tuning in from today. Make sure to hit that like, share, subscribe button. And even if you're in the room, take out your phones. We are a phone-friendly community. You just might want to silence it first, yes? Feel free to take pictures and clips during service and post. Check in on social media and let folks know where the love is today. If you are a guest joining us for the first time, we especially welcome you here, knowing that your presence makes a difference. Do we have anyone here for the first time? We'd love you just to raise your hand, give you some, yes, let's give them a warm welcome. Welcome, welcome. And one of our core council members will be giving you a little welcome goodie bag, as well as there is a connection card. If you fill that out, we can add you to our mailing list so you can keep up with all the wonderful happenings here at Ahava. So thank you for joining us today. You are here on a special day because the last Saturday of the month is Potluck Sunday. So please stick around and join us afterwards for some food and community and connection. Yes. We're so grateful for the many hearts and hands of our beloved volunteers who create this sacred space. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge all of our volunteers, those that we see on Sunday and those behind the scenes during the week. First, I want to thank our amazing magicians, right? They do magic up here. Let's give it up for Belle on keys. And our beloved Kim, one of our licensed spiritual practitioners, also our lead vocalist today and on guitar. Yeah, Kim. And we have, it looks like, Kyle on sound and Gabe also on sound training. So give it up for them, yes. And you have Tatiana online with you today, so say hello to Tatiana in the chat. Yes. And you wouldn't be seeing me online at all if Nasima wasn't behind the camera. So thank you, Nasima. Yes. And acknowledging Bernadette with our youth today. So, yes. Thank you all of our volunteers. We are so, so grateful. Now is the time in service where we get to acknowledge that truly we are one. And as such, we are all a divine reflection of one another. So I invite you to perhaps place your hands over your heart and turn to someone and say, thank you for being a reflection of me. Thank you. We have an amazing vision and purpose here. So I invite you to repeat after me. We are an inclusive community. Committed to global transformation, through personal evolution. And our purpose, let's do this one together. Ready? Wake up, step up, and make a difference. That's right. And today's affirmation, I will read once and then invite you to affirm together. By surrendering to my higher self, I unleash boundless potential from within. Let's do it. By surrendering to my higher self, I unleash boundless potential from within. Yes. So I invite you now to take a deep breath. As we invite into this space, this field of energy, our ancestors, opening to this moment of honoring those who have come before and those who have been stewards of this land, as I read our land acknowledgement. In the warm embrace of this sacred land, our hearts overflow with deep love and gratitude to this land's ancestral guardians, the Yochi, Osage, Cherokee, Shawnee, Hopewell, and Adena nations. We humbly acknowledge the historical wounds and traumas that have touched and continue to touch the lives of Indigenous communities. And in this present moment, our commitment springs from a well of love, respect, and the unwavering recognition of the inherent sovereignty of Indigenous peoples. We pledge to be attentive listeners, amplifiers of Indigenous voices, and perpetual learners about the rich diversity of Indigenous cultures, histories, and contemporary challenges. So again, taking a nice deep breath. Yes, and we enter into our centering song and our opening prayer, both led this morning by our practitioner, Kim D'Amato.
I invite you to sing with me as well while we do this, so we can make beautiful music together. I am remembering who I am. 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 Good, keep going. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering. Beautiful. Breathing into that beautiful vibration. That vibration of every note, every breath, every voice. I know it as love, as peace, as joy, as freedom, as power, and as abundance. And during this season of change and transition, as summer rolls into fall, as the harvest becomes plentiful, I know all of this is the truth of the one, and that this is the truth of each and every individual person here. This is the truth of our beloved Ahava community. This love, this peace, this joy, this freedom, this power, this abundance. And I breathe that in and I set that intention for this morning, for today, for our message. That every word that needs to be said will be said. Every word that needs to be heard will be heard. And I feel that love pouring forth like an ocean from heart to heart to heart. I know that we are blessed by every hand and heart that has brought this community together and made this morning possible. And I simply let this prayer be by saying, and so it is. Amen. I am remembering who I am.
Is it on now? Okay, good. I can see what you mean. I can't hear myself back here. Okay. And again, the writing's blurry. Okay. This is a little bit longer than our normal reading, but it's more of a story, so Reverend Rainbow thought it was okay. This is from The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, pages 34 and 34 through 36, if you're interested. I would eventually learn that everything in life has something to teach you, and that it is all for your growth. Though I definitely wasn't seeing my schoolwork as relevant to my inner growth, I had a very illuminating experience associated with one of my courses. The time came to write the final paper for the course. I knew my mental state was not conducive to going to the library and trying to learn enough to write a great paper. I had been meditating a lot, and my mind was very still. No way was I going to spend days researching and thinking about this topic. I would have to find a different method if I was to write this paper. After meditation, I lit the kerosene lantern and sat at the fold-out table in my van. I began telling myself that I really didn't care what grade I got in the class, since I probably wouldn't finish my degree anyway. This removed any mental or emotional pressure. I then told myself to start writing whatever I thought about the topic. I had no books to refer to, just the natural logic of a clear, unpressured mind. I began to write, and thoughts began to flow. I did not worry about what I was writing or second-guess my thoughts. It was just very much like meditation. I kept my personal self out of it completely and just let unbridled inspiration flow. At some point in the process, a flash of inspiration welled up inside of me. I went from not knowing what I was going to do with the paper to knowing exactly what I was going to write. It was an amazing process to watch. Not only did I receive an A for that course, but when my professor returned my paper, he asked me if I would consider doing my dissertation under him. I was humbled. I had clearly seen the difference between creative inspiration and logical thought. I knew where thoughts came from, but where did inspiration come from? It came from a much deeper place than where I witnessed the thoughts. It came spontaneously, in total silence, with no effort or commotion. No matter how hard I might have tried, I could never have written that paper based solely on my logical mind. Thank you. If I'd learned that, that would have saved me a lot of money in college.
Surrender is not a white flag, giving up or giving in. Surrender is a giving over to the infinite within. Surrender is not a prison. There are no borders where I live. Surrender is a freedom only letting go can give. Oh, whoa, 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 I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little rock into my roll, I'm letting go. Oh, the seeds of love will grow, I'm letting go. Oh, so I can sing my song, I'm letting go. Oh, 'cause I got to let go to hold on. I'm not Pollyanna, I'm in the trenches of the road. I'm not living blindly, I said I got my eyes open and I'm letting go. Oh, 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 I'm letting go. Oh, put a rock into my roll, I'm letting go.
seeds of love will grow. I'm letting go. Oh, so I can sing my song. I'm letting go. Oh, 'cause I got to let go to hold on. I'm a pretender, but I'm a contender to be in surrender today. Can't be a defender of doubt, but remember that you are the light of your way. No, I'm a pretender, but I'm a contender to be in surrender today. Don't be a defender of doubt, but remember that you are the light of your way. Letting go, oh, put a little rock into that roll. I'm letting go, oh, so the seeds of love will grow. I'm letting go, ooh, so I can sing my song. Letting go, oh, 'cause I gotta let go to, yeah, I gotta let go to, oh, I gotta let go to hold on. Hold on, let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Oh, hold on, let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Ooh, hold on, let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go, let go, let go.
Thank you. Isn't that a great song? Oh my gosh. Love it.
So fun. Love it. Whew. So grateful for the creativity and the creative genius of Amy Steinberg's music, and for the creativity and creative genius of our musicians making it their own and bringing it to life right here, yes? Oh. I mean, we get to witness what we just heard about in that reading every Sunday. The flow of creativity coming through all the artists. Well, you can look around this room, you know? The flow of the creativity that comes through the artistry of those in that flow. So we are wrapping up this series called Surrender into Oneness. And to recap, I thought instead of me sharing what I've been sharing the past few weeks, as such, Google and its brilliant algorithms showed me this video the other day, and it was the perfect, I was like, what? Okay. So we're going to have a little movie day to start with, and the other reason I love this is because it's not just words, it's the pictures and the words, and we all learn differently, right? So maybe this will help lock it in a new way for you. So as soon as you're ready back there, we can go ahead and...
It can be translated as non-action, effortless action, or the paradoxical action of non-action. Wu Wei is multifaceted. There are different forms of non-action. Lao Tzu's writings embody Wu Wei. He teaches softness over hardness, allowing over forcing, and flowing along over striving. He wants us to stop trying so hard, stop pushing beyond nature's limits, and use the Tao to our advantage by going along with it instead of fighting it. Practicing Wu Wei aligns us with the Tao. Take, for example, the idea of non-intervention. Lao Tzu speaks about this concept, which particularly applies to the ruler. Instead of ruling by trying to control and dominate, our ruler should trust and allow as many processes as possible without unnecessary intervention. The world and its people are largely self-governing. If he intervenes too much, he disrupts the natural flow and things only worsen. We can also see this with overly controlling managers. Their efforts may stem from a desire to do well, but their constant meddling is often counterproductive. Lao Tzu wrote that great leaders lead from a place of non-action. They only act when necessary. They trust in the process. They let nature do its work. Many problems simply solve themselves. Many things fall into place without intervening. Imagine how much time and energy such an attitude saves. Lao Tzu wrote, "Do you want to rule the world and control it? I don't think it can ever be done. The world is a sacred vessel, and it cannot be controlled. You will only make it worse if you try. It may slip through your fingers and disappear. End quote. Non-action also shines through when Lao Tzu talks about the futility of fixed knowledge and rigid moral code. We often try to be good based on predetermined ideas of goodness, or achieve success as societal standards dictate. But what are goodness and success really? Can we, for example, speak of definitive concepts of good and evil in a complex and ever-changing universe? Trying to impose good on the world often makes things worse. Alan Watts, a fervent scholar of Taoism, once pointed out that the goody-goodies of society are the biggest troublemakers. Their must-save-the-world attitude often disrupts the natural course, simply because they seek to enforce artificial ideas on what's good and evil, which may not align with the nuanced realities of life. Another form of Wu Wei is the idea of effortless action, also called being in the zone, referring to a free-flowing spontaneity during which one merges with the act. Dr. Wui-Lin Chong, philosopher and sinologist, explains her interpretation in a Dutch book about Taoist philosophy, emphasizing the element of emptiness or openness. She describes the essence of practicing Wu Wei as follows, and I quote, "And so the whole practitioner is able to, from the clarity of his egoless center, observe all relevant forces in a certain situation in their being, undistorted, so that he can respond to them flawlessly." End quote. From this viewpoint, Wu Wei is not just about letting go, going along with the flow of nature, allowing the universe to do its job. It's a much bolder move, for which we need a lot of courage. We must be brave enough to escape our intellectual prisons of assumptions, concepts, and categories, and engage with the world as it presents itself. The sage must become what Lao Tzu called an uncarved block, which is a simpler, undistorted state of being. As uncarved blocks, we can engage in what Dr. Wui-Lin Chong describes as this ultimate receptive and responsive way of action, from a crystal clear openness in yourself, one with the breathing of the cosmos. So how does this work in practice? The importance of escaping our intellectual prisons is especially true for effortless action. In the flow state, we tend to experience intense and focused concentration on the present moment, loss of reflective self-consciousness, a merging of action and awareness, and even an altered sense of time. It's like the dancer becomes the dance, the poet the poem, and the singer the song. In his biography, retired professional basketball player Bill Russell wrote, "It was almost as if we were playing in slow motion. During those spells, I could almost sense how the next play would develop and where the next shot would be taken." End quote. How do we reach this flow state? Perhaps a better question is, what stops us from reaching it? Let's take a look at the word try for a moment. To try means making an attempt or effort to
in school spelled SKOOL. And so check that out. So flow state. Surrender is not giving up. It's giving over to the infinite within, right? That is that flow state, or what we may call being in the zone. As they mention, like basketball players talk about being in the zone. You're not thinking about your every move and calculating it. You're just in the flow of life. Musicians, when they're playing a song, you get to a certain point where you open up to that flow and you're not thinking, this chord, that chord, this chord, that chord. It's flowing through you. So how can we look at this idea and apply it to our everyday life? Because the truth is, that is our natural state. Being at one with the Tao, with the way, with life, with God, with source energy. All that we desire is within us. And what stops us is our own monkey mind, or thoughts, that what we've been talking about this month, our ego mind, right? Those kind of collection of thoughts those patterns of doubt, of self-sabotage, of separation, of not good enough, that part of the ego that would tell us either that we're not good enough or we're the best and we're the right and we're the only one that can do it, right? It plays us both ways, don't be fooled. Yet when we are truly present to the flow of life, when we are tuned in and tapped in to that source, to that higher self, life begins to flow with a lot more ease. And it doesn't mean there's not going to be bumps along the way, but just like a river, we can flow more easily around those obstacles or challenges when we are in this state of allowing, of surrender, and of presence. So what if spiritual growth was actually about letting go and not attaining something? What if true spiritual awakening was about releasing and shedding all that we are not, as opposed to trying to get something or achieve something? Because what that does, that state of mind of thinking that enlightenment is something that we must achieve, is it creates separation, right? It makes us think that who and where we are right now isn't already inherently perfect. But what we teach here and what Ernest Holmes reminds us in this Science of Mind philosophy is that we are inherently whole. And we are connected with all. And therefore, the joy and the wisdom and the love and the peace is already right here, is who we are. So, if we move from life with this premise that all that we desire is within, it is already who we are, the work then becomes to notice all of the gunk and the blocks that we have put between us and our good, right? Or our truth, our desires. And along our life's journey, our soul's perfectly imperfect journey of evolution, we pick things up. And these ideas, these negative beliefs like self-doubt, or call them karmic blocks, these limiting ideas and from various experiences in our life become like congealed gunk, right? Blocking that flow of life through us. Think of it this way. Imagine you're eating something and it makes you sick. You have an extreme allergy aversion to this particular food. So you could choose to keep eating it and maybe look out there for some kind of medication or something that might help relieve those symptoms. You could be content with just feeling bad and keep eating that thing. Or you could just stop eating the thing that makes you sick, right? So similarly, in our spiritual growth and our healing, it requires dissolving those energetic blocks and that gunk by stop feeding it with the negative thoughts and the thoughts that continue to enhance those old beliefs that no longer serve the truth of who we are. The tendency of the ego mind is to look for something out there to make us better because it believes that right here, right now is not enough or we are not okay. And so, when we look out there for love, for joy, for happiness, for inspiration, it is a never-ending journey. We will never be fulfilled or satisfied because what we are looking for is right here. And we don't need to add anything or get anything from out there. We simply need to remove the blocks and the blinders and the obstacles and the junk that is preventing us from seeing that truth. If you are not feeling the love and the abundance or the peace and the joy that you desire, it's not because you somehow are born inherently wrong or broken or without the ability to love or be creative. No. It's just that you are eating something, taking a bite of that poisonous apple, and believing that is your truth. It's like eating something that's not good for you. That doesn't mean that when you eat something and it makes you sick, that you are inherently sick. In fact, it's the exact opposite, right? Like, you are inherently whole and healthy. You take in, you consume something, follow the metaphor here, you consume something that your body has a reaction to, and you temporarily feel sick or reject it. But in that moment, we could choose to believe that that is who we are and get stuck in that sickness. The same thing happens in our mind. When we forget that those experiences are temporary, the pain and the suffering and the doubt, and we start to believe that that's who we are, and then that we have to go out there searching for the truth, we're working at it all backwards. And we're going to be spending so much energy to feel that contentment. Or you could stop consuming the poisonous apple. And I know it sounds easy. And like, well, yeah. It takes, like that video showed, do you remember that graphic, right, of that person emerging from this like dark, all these people and things like grappling at it, and it's like a little crack coming out and trying to emerge from the grips of the doubt and the ego mind? It's so pervasive in our culture, the messages of you're not good enough, you need this product to make you look good, you need this to feel good about yourself, you need this perfect relationship, and it must look like this to feel complete, right? We hear it in the songs, in the movies, in the ads, in our collective conversation. So no wonder something as simple as like stop eating and consuming the poison apple yet is a little bit more difficult, because it takes conscious awareness in each moment, because it's so pervasive. And that's our work, to remember the truth of who we are. Think about that beautiful stone, and instead of having to become something that it's not, what the artist does with that beautiful stone, the marble, what it is it chisels away. It chisels away everything on this block that is not the image that the artist is creating. And what becomes of that marble, that stone, is an amazing statue that the artist, in that flow state, revealed. We are inherently whole and perfect. All that we desire is within. The process of awakening, if you want to call it that, is recognizing and then choosing not to engage with, consume, take in any of those ideas or thoughts that do not resonate with the wholeness of the truth of God, of the universe, of who we are. This is what the Buddha described as nirvana, that state of having no blocks or obstacles and having that experience of flow, of pure bliss, right? This is what Jesus described when he said we must die to be reborn, meaning we must die to the parts of ourselves that is blocking that flow in order to awaken to the joy and the wholeness and the peace within. That is always there, waiting to be fully experienced through us, as us. So think again of that river, that beautiful river flowing. And then there is a dam, right? We build a dam. Now, this doesn't mean that there is something bad or wrong with the river, because it's no longer flowing past this point, right? If there is an energetic block, it will stop the flow. But the river is still there, waiting to flow through you. Spirit is who you are. It's not giving up on you. It's there waiting to flow. But these blocks come from perhaps core wounds or traumas that then we have created various defense mechanisms to keep us safe. And this is all the ego part of the mind that is, to an extent, perhaps healthy when we were younger, and yet as we grow and mature, we can comfort that young inner child and let it know that we don't need those blocks anymore, right? We don't need to be so rigid with this idea or boundary to stay safe. We can begin to open up to the flow and to trust the infinite spirit of life, to trust love, and to allow those blocks to dissolve. When we truly get this, not just intellectually, right? I think, we can hear the metaphors and the ideas and be like, yeah, I get that. But as a lived experience, and not just a spiritual platitude, that is how we begin to let things flow with ease, all right? That it has to move from an intellectual experience or awareness or idea into an integrated reality in our life. And it starts by a little willingness, just a little willingness to become awake and aware, to pay attention, and to stop consuming that poisonous apple. So how do we give over to the infinite within? First, we must slow down, listen, and begin to cultivate a relationship with the divine of our own being. And then notice where, in what moments or relationships or events in your life are those obstacles, blocks coming up. When are we feeling that not good enough, that trigger? And then notice it. As soon as we notice it and name it, it no longer has the power. Once we experience something and we can identify, oh, that was a trigger. I was not in my right mind when I responded in that way. And as soon as we realize that, it's gone. That's all we have to do. But what do we often do? Beat ourselves up. Feel bad. Wallow in it. La, 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 la. Right, just let it go. Forgive yourself. Move on. Stop eating the apple. If you notice that you are in a place of lack in some way, then perhaps you are believing in false evidence appearing real, right? That an acronym for fear. Fear. And all you have to do is call it out. Notice it. Say, oh, that no longer has any power over me, and allow it to dissolve back to the nothingness from which it came. So we're going to notice, we're going to stay awake and aware, we're going to notice, we're going to name it for what it is, poisonous apple, whatever you want to say. You know, you're walking through your world, you're like, oh, I feel, that's a poisonous apple. I'm not going to consume that anymore. And then realign with your truth and open up to the flow. And that is how we allow grace to set us free, to die to our old habits and patterns that no longer serve us, and to step into our inherent power and purpose. Awareness is key. So that is our practice this week. Are you willing? Even just a little bit? All right. Let's take that into prayer. So what I know right here, right now, is there is an infinite source of potential. This life source energy that is wholeness, that is peace, that is joy, that is love, that is who I am. I know and recognize that this one life is living and moving and having its very being in, as, and through me. So I'm so grateful to speak this word now from this place of oneness, knowing that I am in the flow. That I choose this day to stay awake and aware, to no longer consume the poisonous ideas of lack or separation, of doubt, of limitation. And I choose today and in this moment forward and in every eternal now moment to allow grace and love to wash over me, to easily come right back to my center, that place in space where love resides, and to let love lead the way, knowing that any old patterns or false identifications dissolve back to the nothingness from which they came. For there is only one life, one truth, one spirit living as me, and I awaken to this flow now, and I allow it to live me. Life is living me now. I surrender my ego's desire to control, and I allow spirit to have its way. And for this, I am so grateful. So grateful. As I release this word now into the divine activity of life itself, knowing it is done and it is so. I affirm, and so it is. So it is, yes. And let us now sing our prayer.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only
Yes. Woo. All right, we're going to move into our moment of integration where we take this message and get to embody it a little bit more fully. So before we do this, I want to ask you, we're going to do a little crowdsourcing here. So what are some ideas or tools or tricks or things that have worked for you to pay attention, right? To stay awake and aware and to come back to the truth. So think about that a second. I'll give you one example. For me, is I set little reminders on my phone with affirmations, and they just pop up at different times. And that's a moment to reflect and come back to the truth. Other ideas? What do you use? What do you work? Yes? Bracelets. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, like a little bracelet or reminder or something, and then when you see it, you remember, like, oh, yes, back to wholeness, back to truth, a reminder. Yes, a physical action to move it from one to the other, something like that, right? So we have reminders, we have that. We can post affirmations in places. What else, Ron?
Listening to the voice again.
Yeah.
Which voice makes you feel afraid?
Yeah.
Which voice makes you feel peaceful?
Just listening. Yeah, I'm going to repeat for those online. So listening to that voice within. So pausing and listening and noticing, is this voice, is this thought, is this idea making me feel peaceful, or does it make me feel afraid or scared? And then choose. Yeah. All right, so, yes, one more. Yep. Yes, getting grounded, right? So she said when her head gets too busy, going out, putting bare feet in the ground and just, right? Good practice. All right, so what you're going to do now is you're going to find someone and you're going to share an idea, something that you may have been sparked, but what is something that you want to practice this week? What is something very tangible that's going to help you remember this message to stay awake and to pay attention? All right, find someone, share an idea. Yeah. And the thing is, ideas. What are you going to do this week, right? Make sure each person has a chance to share. A few more moments just to wrap it up. All right. Using a chime. putting a chime on your phone or something, right? And it's like, presents. All right, beautiful. So today being the last Sunday of the month, not only do we have a potluck, it is also Giving Sunday, where we get to hear from a representative of a local organization that is doing good work in our community and support them. So yes, come on up. We're going to invite up Sean Turner, who's going to share from the Grant.
Hey guys, I'm Sean Turner. I am the outreach
Here.
director. Oh, please.
Come on up to this.
I will yell loud
No.
enough.
Just for the live stream, just for the live
Okay.
stream.
I am the outreach director with the Grant Smile Restoration Program. And when she was talking about surrender, I was talking with Miss Jean back there. 5 years ago tomorrow was the day that I surrendered. And that was the day that I had a moment of clarity that, so I'm a person in long-term recovery. I drank and used drugs for 34 years. I don't regret my past nor wish to shut the door on it because I'm on a peak now, but I've been through the valley. I appreciate the view from up here because I know what it was like to be homeless for the last 4 years of my drinking. But 4 years ago, or 5 years ago tomorrow, I had felt like I was beat into submission, but come to find out I was just letting go of my ways of thinking, my ways of doing, and the way that what I thought other people thought about me really ruled my life instead of what was really just naturally inherent on the inside of me. All that being said, I've come to talk about the Smile Restoration Program and some of our things that we do for other people. I am not just their outreach director, I'm also an alumni. This is the smile this is the smile yeah. So when I got there, I had 7 teeth on the bottom. I had an upper plate for a while, but in the madness, broke that, lost that. I mean, I've got all kinds of stories. They said, speak for 3 to 5 minutes. I said, 3 to 5 minutes? I've got so much more to say. That would be trying to put God in a box. But now I've got this amount of time, and he exists outside the box. He made the box. He can't stay in it. He's outside of it. So what this program has done for me, though, is with a year of sobriety and working a recovery program of giving back. That's part of the requirements getting in there. You've got to write a few essays. You've got to get a couple letters of recommendation, maybe from a spiritual advisor, a sponsor, a letter from an employer, because I was unemployable the whole time. Today I've had a job for over 5 years, paying rent for over 5 years. I've had 7 DUI convictions. I've been charged more. I beat a couple. 13 years without a license. They made no sense when I got them. Today they make perfect sense. I drove in a car with a driver's license. I respect my driver's license. It took a lot to get to respecting a driver's license. When I arrived at treatment as a homeless person, I had 37 cents to my name. No underwear, a broken arm, and a pulled groin. I felt beat into submission, but I just had to let go of what I was trying to hold on to. It's easy to do that without one arm. A lot easier to let go. But this whole program is not just to get, it is, it's a lot easier. God allowed me to receive enough pain without it killing me, to be willing, I heard willingness mentioned, to try something different. They told me there were 3 things about my recovery. I had to be honest, open-minded, and willing. And they said, that's the key to getting sober. Come to find out it's key to staying sober, too. I still got to be honest, open-minded, and willing. I'll be willing to come up here and talk about something that's been so good to me. The Smile Restoration Program it works hand in hand. So I did need a set of teeth, there's no doubt. I have more self-confidence. I have all these other things now. But I wouldn't have been able to handle this because I'm ego. I got a lot of ego. I got a lot of pride. I got a lot of, I think I am somebody at moments, and then I'm so poor, pitiful me in the next moment. I don't know how I can go from so poor, pitiful me to I am the best thing ever, but that's how my thought process works. It's the world's enamors, I think. So with the Smile Restoration Program, people commit to 52 weeks, 1 Zoom meeting a week, and I'm also a peer support for them. I get to go to the dentist. I get to, like I said, I'm their outreach director. I get to transport them if need be. I get to do all kinds of things to help walk them through the fear of actually just going to the dentist. Probably doesn't sound like that big of a deal. We've had, we're on track to have 200 smile restorations probably by the end of the year. And so when with the self-confidence and you're doing these Zoom meetings, you come in as a newcomer, and an alumni will always go first in the Zoom meetings. I also get to co-chair 4 of the 5 Zoom meetings they have. When the newcomer comes in, they'll go last. The alumni will talk about, you know, where they're at in their smile restoration and what it was like to walk through that, whether it's, I've got a full set of dentures. We do crowns, we do root canals, fillings, deep cleanings, partials. It's not just pull all your teeth and give you a set of dentures. The dentist usually gets to decide with the recipient, because we call them recipients, not clients, in this program, as to what their prognosis is and how to walk forward through that. Because if you were like me, and you guys weren't, well, you know, I had a backpack, but it did not have a toothbrush in it. You know, that was, these homeless people you see flying a sign, I was not that successful. I couldn't fly a sign and get any money. But that's the past. I don't regret that because it's made me who I am. This is what I'm supposed to be doing today. And I found out my life today has a purpose, and it's simply to help people. Now, when I found out that my purpose can be, can go right along with my experience, strength, and hope, I have a passion about my purpose. I want to see people get better. Can't make them, but I want to see them get better. I like to see them get a smile. And I'll get some flyers for you guys. If you want that, I'll be more than glad to stay just a little bit late and share that with you. Thanks for letting me share. Thank you. Very good message.
Yes. Beautiful testimony. So as you give today, know that not only are you contributing to this amazing community, that it is in the flow, and we get to give back to this amazing organization as well. So we're going to pass a basket in the room, but there's also many ways you can give. If you are watching online, you can go to our website. You can also text the word GIVE to 859-209-6996. And let us now bless our gifts and offerings together. I invite you to repeat after me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava, knowing it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Yes.
Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy, joy is of the source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Gives me everything I need. Is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need.
Woo! That's right. We have some amazing things coming up. Our next Taste of Ahava event is an evening with Cree Majesty in Griffeytown. Y'all, this sold out like that, so the Isons have opened up a few more spots. So if you didn't get a ticket and you want to, you still can, but those 4 spots are going to go fast. Make sure you hop online and reserve your spot or write a check or talk to them today to get a ticket. And then our next Taste of Ahava, Friday, September 13th, you saw our beloved Corbell this morning in full face. She is no longer here this morning because she is doing a drag brunch, but she will be here hosting on Friday, September 13th, Drag Bingo. $1 bingo cards. Invite your friends and family. If you were here last time, you know it was an amazing blast of a time. And there'll be fun prizes and all sorts of things. Our very own Mary Knight. Yes. Mary Knight just published her second novel, and it is she's going to be speaking from that and sharing that and doing a book signing after service. She just had her book launch last week, and we are so grateful to have Mary here in a few weeks with her amazing novel all about aloha. Yes. What else? We got Yoga Club. David's going to come give us a little announcement and check in about Yoga Club.
Well, you all remember the first rule of Yoga Club, right? Yeah, you talk about it.
We do talk about it.
And bring your friends along, too. This time's not set in stone. I have a survey set up on the Facebook Ahava CSL community group?
Community
is it?
page, yeah,
Okay,
group, on the group
community
on Facebook.
page. And just basically, I'm waiting to hear from as many people as possible so I can get a better idea of what day and time works for everyone. And I think Reverend Rainbow alluded to it earlier in the year that I'm open to having it more than once a week. So basically, just either talk to me in person or answer the survey online, and I'll try to structure it a little bit better.
Yes, thank you, David.
Yeah.
If you're interested in doing yoga here at Ahava in person for accountability and support, talk to David and let him know when's a good time. Also, our grief circle, Patty's been announcing, we are going to start that in the new year. We realized that starting in September was not the best time with other things going on, so please, if you are interested, still contact Patty, and we're going to get that on the books to start in January. I think that's it. Yes, all right. Remember the potluck after service? So in order to get our bellies grumbling and ready to eat, we're going to now move our bodies for our movement of embodiment. So kick it, DJ K. May.
Soul. Then just say, I surrender. I surrender. I give you everything.
All right. Club Ahava, y'all. Surrender. Hey, you've never moved before. That's a good way to bring awareness, right? Just watch your hands dance. Yeah. Surrender, y'all, to that flow.
If it's peace that you need, stop, stop. If it's peace that you need, stop, stop. I give you my heart. I give you my soul. I give you my heart. I give you my soul. Then just say, I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I give you everything.
Yes. All right. So a reminder that practitioners are available to support you in prayer. We have Kim Damana today, who will be over in the prayer corner. You can also put your prayer request in the prayer box or submit a prayer request online. And let us now end with our benediction. I invite you to stand if that's available to you and comfortable. And repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It's this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I accept it. I am it. And I share it. Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Woo! All right, and we got one more song to close us out. We're going to Let It Be.
Ready to sing? We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Joy. We peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. Let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let it be.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Let's eat.